So in this video, we're going to take a look at some more complicated linear equations. That's ones where the x appears at more than once. And we're going to think about how to solve these. So let's look at the two examples we've got in front of us. And let's start with A. So we're going to have 3x plus 2 equals 4x minus 3. Now, the same rules apply as in the previous videos. We have to undo things that are happening here. We have to do them in the right order, and we have to do the same things to both sides. Now, I did say in the right order, but actually in these examples, it doesn't matter if we move x's or if we move numbers. But I'm going to give us 4 different choices of what we could do. So we could either minus 3x by getting rid of the positive 3x we can see there. I could minus 2 because I can see a plus 2. On the right-hand side, I could minus 4x because I can see a positive 4x there. And another thing I could do is I could add 3 to both sides because I can see a minus 3. Now, all 4 of those things are right. Any one of them is going to help us to make this equation a little bit simpler. So with that in mind, it doesn't matter which one we do first. I think I'm going to take 3x from both sides. Now, my rationale for doing that is because I don't want to take the 4x from both sides because it will make a negative amount of x, and that's going to make things more complex for us. And I don't want more complex; I want easy. So I'm going to take I'm going to take 3x from both sides. So that will leave me with just a 2 on the left. On the right, I'm going to have, well, just an x because I've got 4 x's and I'm taking away 3 x's. So that's going to leave me with 1x. And I've still got that minus 3 there. Okay. And what you can see has happened here is I started off with 4 terms and now I've only got 3 terms. It's reduced the equation and made it a bit simpler. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 to both sides because I can see that minus 3 there and I want to get x on its own. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I will end up with a 5 on the left and just that x. And I'm kind of finished. Remember, we want to write the x on the left first. That's the standard way to write our answers, but we're finished. X is equal to 5. Okay, let's try this second equation and see if we can use that one and we can work that one out in a similar kind of way. So we're going to have 2x plus 7 equals 8x minus 11. So this time, let's do the numbers first, just to make it a bit different. So I could either choose to take 7 or add 11, and I'm going to choose to keep things positive. So I am going to choose to add 11 to both sides. So if I do that, I'm going to have a 2x there still. I'm going to have an 18 because I've got 7 plus 11. I'm going to still have an 8x there, but nothing else because I've added 11 to cancel out the minus 11. So now I've got the x's still to bring together, if you like. I'm going to take away 2x from both sides. That way we'll have all the x's on the right. So if I do that, I'm going to be left with just the 18 on the left. And on the right, I'm going to have 6x. The final thing I've got to do at this stage is I've got to get rid of that 6. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And if I do that, I'm going to have a 3 on the left and an x on the right. So x is equal to 3. There we go. We finished that equation as well. So these questions aren't necessarily any more complicated as long as you're very comfortable with this balancing method and cancelling out. Now, just to have a go at something slightly more challenging again, let's look at a worded question and see if we can interpret this as an algebraic equation. Karen thinks of a number, multiplies it by 3, and then adds 10. So before we go any further, let's just say that the number she's thinking of is, unsurprisingly, x. Right. So she's going to multiply it by 3. That's going to be 3x. And then she adds 10. So far, we've got 3x plus 10. Let's carry on. Her answer is 11 more than the number she thought of. So this thing there we wrote down is 11 more than the number she thought of. Well, the number she thought of was x, So surely that means it's equal to x plus 11. If x is her original number, write down an equation and solve it to find x. Well, there's the equation already written down. Now let's solve it to find x. So we're going to take 10 from both sides to bring those numbers together. We'll have 3x is equal to x plus 1. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take away x from both sides. This is going to leave us with 2x is equal to 1. Finally, we're going to divide by 2. This is going to leave us with our final answer. X is equal to a half, and we're done. So that isn't as difficult as we thought it was, hopefully. Hopefully also you can now solve linear equations with the unknown appearing on both sides.